Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our March Public Image virtual event for Zones 33 and 34. We're really happy that you were able to join us tonight. My name is Susan Corder. I'm the Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 34. Also on our webinar tonight, we have the rest of our public image team. RPIC Billy Black and Assistant RPICs Caroline Blocklinger, Joanne Meeker, who's incoming for this upcoming Rotary year, Michael Wallstrom, Dawn Rochelle, and Marie Fallon. And kind of in the background, we have Amanda Groover there too. And Sean's going to be leading our webinar this evening, tag teaming it with Caroline and Michael. But before we get started, I wanted to go through just a few housekeeping items. We will go into breakout rooms as we have been doing the last few webinars after the presentation around 6:45. And so you'll have the opportunity to join one of three sessions or hop between them. However, if you are joining the meeting tonight, the webinar tonight, through the Zoom browser mode and not the Zoom application, you will not be able to use that feature or function. So make sure you hop off and log back on using the Zoom app so that you're able to join the discussions in the breakout rooms. And that gives you the opportunity to ask questions about the webinar tonight or any other public image related questions that you might have. Another thing I wanted to note is that there is a resources icon on your Zoom screen. And that's where we have links to various resources and tools that we'll be discussing tonight. So as we go through some of these tools, if you want to view and download the resources page, you can go back and access those later. And lastly, we are recording this webinar tonight. So if there's anyone else that in your club or district you think might benefit from hearing this message, it will be posted on our Vimeo and YouTube channels and distributed out later this week. So please keep a lookout for that and share that information with other Rotarians and Rotaractors. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Sean Patty up to kickstart our webinar tonight. Sean?
Thanks so much, Susan. Hey folks, thank you again for joining us. We have a little over 120 and numbers climbing persons on with us tonight, and our objective is really to kind of give you guys an overview of how best you can tap into this, resource that is artificial intelligence to help you specifically with your public image tasks and public image roles within your respective clubs and districts, and just kind of scratch the surface a bit, right, in terms of the overview of what AI is, how it can help you, and point you in the right direction of kind of best practices and some good resources that are available right now and that you can benefit from. So with that being said, the way we're going to kind of structure this is in kind of technically four parts. And I drew an analogy of how we're going to do it today in terms of taking a drive in your car, right? So the first aspect of it is the type of car you're going to be driving. Is it a peach or is it a lemon? You need to put gas in your car to go. So that's where we're going to cover things like content creation. um you know is your car tuned up, and what's under your hood is when we're going to look at things like optimizing and options for optimizing things using AI. And then last but not least, a little bonus segment where we're going to try and see what kind of free tools you can have. And if you were driving your car, I know sometimes you just want to avoid the tolls on the road, right, to pay that extra cost. So first off, in terms of an overview of AI, right, and what it is, and more so, some kind of best practices when it comes to it. First and foremost, uh, there's the term AI is thrown around a lot, and sometimes it's applicable to a particular application or resource or tool. Sometimes it's not, right? And this is just something that happens with language, right? We kind of throw these terms around. So in some cases, the term is being used correctly, and in other cases, it's not really being used correctly. But the real emphasis here is that it's more or less meant to simulate intelligence, right? It's machines simulating some kind of decision making or intelligent application of decision making when it comes to information, when it comes to data, when it comes to putting things together or pulling things from different sources and spitting out results back at you. Um, so in that sense, AI right now is being used in so many different ways, right? In chatbots, in assistants, smart assistants, for searches, for media, for social media, for navigation apps, for smart cars, for text editing, it's just widespread in terms of how many different things are using AI in some way, shape, or form. Some of them use AI a lot. Some of them use AI a little bit to kind of supplement the overall thing that they're doing. But the fact of the matter is that AI is now being applied, in many more things than it was a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Um, the overall perspective on AI and benefits of it comes from the fact that it helps to save time, it helps with creating content, it somewhat reduces errors, although in some cases it can generate errors as well. And it does provide a bit of digital assistance, right? As we all know, just within our Rotary world, there's so much information out there and so many different places to go to find information and to find resources. So having an application, having a tool that can help you pull information from all over the web and from different sources and kind of put it together in a package that is within the context that you're looking for information, right? Is going to always going to be helpful. But with the benefit of AI, there also comes a few problems, right? Nothing's ever going to be perfect. Uh, there can, if it's abused or overused, we do tend to generate this kind of dependence on it. And as a result, we consider that things that are coming from AI to be 100% true or 100% correct, and that's not the case, right? Um, it's kind of like when, for the last 10, 15, 20 years, somebody's telling you a story and you ask them, where'd you hear this from? And they just tell you Google. They don't actually give a source. The source is Google. And they just assume that because they did a search on Google and they found a result on Google that it's 100% true or 100% factual. And we all know that's not the case. And the same kind of thinking can be used and applied to AI. Just because AI spits out a result at you does not make it 100% accurate or 100% true. There's also a bit of a lack of personalization in the sense that, it can be spitting out the same set of content over and over again to a multitude of persons. So as a result, you lose a certain sense of your individuality with it. There's a little bit of concern these days, especially when it comes to privacy as well. And of course, there's a degree of bias and discrimination depending on what algorithms are being used, what databases are being searched, and even what prompts you're using to ask it questions. So again, you have to kind of take the good with the bad of it. Um, so one message that we started off when we did our first session on AI last year, and that I will reemphasize again this year, is that AI shouldn't, replace anything. It should complement your best practices, right? And in public image, especially, there are some really core best practices that we always try and emphasize, right? That you want to make sure that your branding is correct. You want to make sure that your facts are correct. You want to make sure that you cater to your audience, and AI should help complement those things. At the end of the day, it should never replace them, right? It's not at that stage as yet. It'll probably be a while until it's at that stage. So for now, it's really just about finding a good balance between using AI as a tool to help you, and making sure that, things just don't go wrong, right? And we don't end up in a situation where we regret using a tool that really can be beneficial. Um, a quick example of what I'm talking about here is on the screen right now. You'll see a bit of a screenshot, right, where there was an AI bot that a delivery company was using, and yeah, it just was not set up right, and people were interfacing with the bot, and it was giving them really bad responses. It was answering some of the questions with random poetry, and in some cases with really bad words, right? Another example, It came from another one of our incoming ARPICs for Zone 34, Chad Norrod, where he asked the AI in Canva to kind of spruce up his profile photo, right? And yeah, it didn't go too well. It gave him some really weird results. As you can see on your screen, right? The middle picture and the right picture. I don't know about you guys, but they don't look like Chad at all, who's on the left, right? And these are just some of the concerns and some of the examples of what we're trying to say when you said be careful when you're using AI. Not everything it spits out at you is always going to be correct and accurate. You should always kind of, double check it, right? Um, you know, the so if you leave, after all those messages, if you leave today with three things to remember, right, is make sure you always verify that what your sources are and verify the content. Use this tool because it's so powerful, right? You need to use it with care and respect. And yeah, if you're ever uncertain about something, phone a friend, ask somebody, send an email. The Zones 33 and 34 public image teams, we're always happy to get these kind of questions, right? And whether or not we can answer them directly, we're going to try our best to provide you with some information and point you in the right direction. So, it's not to say you are being forced to use it. It's not to say that you have to be satisfied with the results it puts out. If you ever are in doubt, ask for help. Um, so we're gonna transition into our second segment here. And in this segment, we're gonna focus a little bit on content creation using AI. And within the spectrum of public image and Rotary, we're essentially looking at three general types of content, right? Written content, image content, and video content. And, some of us get a little scared when it comes to content creation, right? Because we just never know where to start. We never know what's right, particularly when it comes to written content. The biggest fear and biggest hurdle for some folks is just how to get past that blank piece of paper or that blank screen with nothing on it, right? So whether it is that you're writing articles or blogs, or you need to come up with your public image plan for the year or your content calendar for the year, or your club is looking to generate some new learning materials for your members, or you need to come up with a bit of a script for a new video that you want to generate for your club. These are the things that can be frightening because you just don't know where to start. And this is where AI can really help, right? It can get you started. It can help you kind of navigate around that blank page by providing you with some base information and providing you with base text and base copy that you can then kind of edit and make it your own and personalize. So, there are a few tools that are out there, and then I just kind of listed some of the most popular ones when it comes to written content that people have been using and continue to use, and that we kind of are all familiar with, right? So from OpenAI, everybody's familiar with ChatGPT. From Google, we have Gemini. From Microsoft, we have Copilot, which replaced their previous one, which is Cortana. And then something I thought that was worth bringing up as well is what are now called these multi-chat bots, right? So examples of those are Hicks or Poe. And what these guys do is they actually integrate um, multiple AI databases, right? So if you use something like Hicks or Poe, they will actually tap into ChatGPT simultaneously to Gemini, simultaneously to Copilot, and many others. And you can kind of pick and choose which one you wanted to use, or if you wanted to use all, and just get, probably more results, but sometimes even better results. So these multi-chat bots are actually kind of cool as well and kind of becoming a big thing right now. So with that being said, we wanted to give you guys a bit of a live demo really quickly on how to use AI to generate content and written content specifically. So I'm going to hand over to other ARPIC from Zone 34, Michael Wallstrom, who's going to give you guys a quick live demo of using ChatGPT to generate an article. In this case, it's an article, like say, like you would want to use for your newsletter. So Michael, I'm going to hand over to you.
Like Sean said, ChatGPT or any of these other chatbot tools can be extremely useful, time saving, technologies. I myself am not enormously tech savvy. I'm not into the weeds like Sean is and like some of the other folks maybe on the PI team. But even I, as simple as I am, can use these things. And I'm going to show you how I did it. Actually Joanne Meeker, who's on the chat with us today, she is from my district, and she had asked me to write an article for our district newsletter. And she gave me, I think, probably a month and a half or 2 months to get it done. And being a good Rotarian, I jumped on it and did it right away. That's actually not what happened at all. I think you all know that I waited until the day before, and she sent me an email and said, Michael, I need that article. And I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I'm actually a decent writer when I have time, but I didn't have time to do it. So I went to ChatGPT, and I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you what we did to produce this. This is, if you can see this now, this is ChatGPT, and I typed in, please write one page on the Rotary Foundation paying special attention to the impact of the endowment. This was what I was asked to write on. I typed that in, and in seconds, this one page of content popped up. I took this and I moved it to Word, and then I kind of sifted through it. I did notice that ChatGPT occasionally can be a little redundant, right? ChatGPT is great at coming up with a lot of the data. Maybe it's not the most inspirational writer, but it's pretty good. It was good enough to get me moving. And in about 10 minutes of editing, I had a finished product. And I sent this to Joanne. She ran it in the newsletter. I got a couple compliments about how wonderful it was. I took them. I did not tell anyone that it was created by ChatGPT, but I did ask Joanne later out of curiosity, and she said she had no idea. So, in circumstances like this where either you're under the gun or, if you're creating the newsletter for your district, with this, you could easily take 12 topics, a monthly topic, right? And in one evening, you could create the content and stash it away for an entire year's worth of content and then just pop them out every single month. It just makes creating this content that much easier. And if someone like me, who I am not a tech savvy individual, can accomplish this, any of you can as well. You just Google ChatGPT, you type in the topic, and you're off to the races. And that is content creation in a nutshell. Sean, back to you.
Thanks so much, Michael. Appreciate it. And I just want to emphasize, if it's one key lesson that we just all learned from Michael, is that if you ever need him to get something done quickly, go through Joanne Meeker. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but that's the lesson I came out with. Yeah. Thanks so much, Michael. Appreciate it. I think one thing that, Michael has demonstrated to us and emphasized in himself is saying that we don't need a lot of expertise or experience to use these tools, right? Anybody can use them. They're designed for anybody to use. Secondly, you don't just take what it gives you and assume that it's all good and it's ready to be put out there. No, you take it, you edit it, you make it your own, right? And then 3, at the end of the day, it's just a resource that you can tap into and that you can use to your advantage, especially if you're down to the wire and, don't have a lot of time. That's really where these things can benefit us more than anything else. So thanks again, Michael. Appreciate it. Moving on, we just kind of covered and touched on written content here, right? And just showed an example of written content. But obviously, being within this public image sphere or ecosystem, visual content is equally as important to us, right? Whether it's imagery, whether it's video. And with that being said, I want to hand over to Caroline Blocklinger, who's gonna give us through a quick rundown on how best to use AI for to generate visual content and how to use it for in the best way possible, right? When it comes to visual content. So Caroline, over to you.
So here's the official start of my presentation, which is I'm starting with a question. If you ever have struggled with a perfect image or design and you didn't really know where you are. In the next few minutes, I will try to explain to you how to use AI for visuals, with other words, for images as well as video. This QR code will lead you to the PI box on zone 3334, which is, by the way, the same thing as on Elevate Rotary, the PI box. And most of the links you will find in there under the cool tools. So why use AI? Now, Sean has already mentioned a few of these things. Number one, it saves time, a lot of time, which creates highly quality visuals without extensive design skills. It increases your impact. It creates eye-catching content, attracts more, and that attracts more engagement. It boosts consistency. AI tool helps you maintain Rotary brand identity, and we all know how important that is. Now, it is not a replacement for the brand center, and I'm going to mention the brand center a few more times. It simplifies storytelling. The tools make it easier to highlight Rotary's impact and values. Now, as I mentioned before, everybody can use these things. You don't have to be a professional, and it will save you a lot of time. Now, some tools that are standing out, especially with the design area, would be Canva. Canva is the best all-in-one design tools. It offers the magic design that instantly generates design ideas based on your content. Text to image, if you're good in describing an image that you want to see, just put it in there and it will create this for you. I don't do any Rotary logos or text as such. If it's not that great with image, the picture in text in pictures. It will allow you to create your brand kit, and that is very important. I would just sit down and I think that's in Canva Pro. I would sit down and just put everything there that you have. So you'll have the logos with the white Rotary and the wheel, or the blue Rotary and the wheel. You have the colors and fonts, all that you can find in the brand center. We all know the Rotary International Brand Center that everybody can go to. Just go to create the logos there and just upload those things to Canva. It has a very great background remover. In other words, if you look at that little robot with that computer in hand, if it had a white square around it, that would look a little strange. So with the background removed, it's sort of floating there, which makes it much nicer, and it turns out to be a more professional design. It also has an AI-powered copywriting tool, and I believe that Canva is working together with ChatGPT, and that's not sure if it is great yet, but you can play with this. Again, all these items, all the apps that I'm showing you, you got to play and find the ones that you like the best. The next one I like to mention that's also fairly easy to use is Adobe Express. This one is best for photo enhancement and quick edits. It also has an automatic background remover, so you don't have to jump from one app to the next. It quickly cuts out subjects for sharp, professional-looking graphics. It has a quick actions section, so you can resize, crop, and enhance images in seconds. There is a text animation. If you want to have moving text into your post, or moving it out, or moving it toward people, I've seen that often lately. It's getting quite popular. There is an AI design assistant that can suggest layouts, colors, and fonts. You figured that one already out because you went to the brand center. And did I say, somebody called me Queen of Brand Center not too long ago. So anyway, all that works very well. What I would like to add as the third tool to use is Midjourney. Midjourney is an extremely powerful AI image. image creator that is, again, from the description or your prompt, it will create whatever you want it to do. To summarize, let's go a little bit into this mid-journey. Custom visual concepts create vibrant, one-of-a-kind images for event promotions, service project highlights, and storytelling. You can do photorealistic results, ideal for generating realistic scenarios, diverse people in action, or artistic designs. It all depends on how good your prompt is. Gives you creative flexibility. It brings an abstract idea to life. It's perfect for impactful Rotary campaigns. I did go and I checked out this particular image has been created in Canva. And what I asked, or my prompt was, a group of people picking up garbage from the beach having fun. And this is what it popped out. Now for the next image, I got a little bit more creative because our club has a lobster fest in October. So I came up with, I explained, I wanted to have a lobster looking binoculars at the beach on a sunny day, which is pretty much, this is an image that I have taken then and enhanced it and put text over it and did all that good stuff. So now that we've seen what AI can do with your images, let's take a look at the video content. Why video? Well, it captures attention. In a busy digital world, compelling visuals combined with sound and movement help Rotary content stand out. And that's pretty much what we all want. It builds emotional connections. Video allows Rotarians to showcase real people, heartfelt moments, and meaningful impact. Now, last session, if you didn't miss it, we talked about Canva videos. And there was this video that we're working on of showcasing your Rotary Club and asking members to come in. That's where video is becoming very popular or very powerful as well. It boosts engagement on social media. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn prioritize video content, resulting in more views, likes, and shares. So what are the tools to use for videos? Number one, Canva. Canva is getting pretty good all about. It's the ultimate all-in-one tool with video capabilities. There is a tool called the Script. It's perfect for quick editing, voiceover, and captions. Auto-transcribe your video for fast edits. Easy drag and drop interface and combining visuals, text, and audio. Great for creating engaging Rotary storytelling content. Again, all these tools, you're going to have to sort of go there, go to the website and just play with it. Many of them have a free version. Hey Jen is a other video, and that one I just started to play with because this is sort of a presenter video. And you can choose from realistic avatars that deliver message with a professional touch. It's perfect for event announcement, speaker intros, and club updates. It saves you time, and I can give you an example here. Unfortunately, Sean is going to have to play this particular one later on because apparently it does not play at this moment. But this is this avatar that I created. And Sean, maybe you can put that at the end. That is talking about Rotary. I have customized that by downloading it from the application. I uploaded it to Canva, and now I could customize it by putting in the Rotary Club or your Rotary Club, or put whatever text I want to put in there. So best practices and tips: be clear with your prompts and make sure if you see any text on those prompts, the text and Rotary logos and anything like that, it really doesn't come through very well. But what you can do is you can create something and then add text afterwards in Canva, whichever platform you're using. keep a video short. 30 to 90 seconds for social media should be plenty. You can say a lot, or you can have that avatar say a lot. Focus on the impact, showcase real people, real projects, and real outcomes. People will see that there is an avatar that you're working with, or it'll take after 1 or 2 times, it's not a personal thing. So you really want to have a personal touch to that video that you're creating. And add Rotary branding, your club branding. Make sure that you mention your club with the Rotary logo, because this is a creation that you make for your area. And when I say club, I meant also district. And that should be just about my presentation for the day on video and on images. Now I will bring it back to Sean.
Thanks, Caroline. So I know she put a little bit of work into this, so I really want to show you guys the video that Caroline created 100% with AI really quickly.
Oh, and by the way, this video took me no more than 10 minutes.
Oh, you stole my thunder.
I know, but
Rotary isn't just about meetings, it's about action. Together, we're making a difference right here in our community. Whether it's supporting education, improving our environment, or feeding families in need, Rotary is there. And we're always having fun along the way. Ready to get involved? Visit our website. Together, we can change lives.
So if I'm not mistaken, Caroline generated that video within 10 minutes using HeyGen. And again, it's just an example of, when you using these tools to your benefit, whether it's because you don't have a lot of time, whether it's because you're not, the greatest or even that familiar with creating videos, these tools can just, leapfrog you over, any kind of learning curves, any kind of inexperience or lack of expertise that you have with regards to content generation, right? And really just provide you with that kind of leg up, so that you don't face any kind of bottleneck when it comes to getting information out, whether it's to your members, to your audience, to your communities, right? These tools are really, really useful in that sense. So I'm going to transition now into the next segment of what we're going to talk about under this whole AI umbrella, and that's really kind of how to best use AI for optimization, right? And within public image and Rotary, we have a spectrum of different roles and responsibilities and tasks and whatnot that we're expected to do. And the question really is, can AI help in doing some of these things? So in our previous segment, we looked at content generation and how AI can be used towards content generation, whether it's written or visual content. Now we're going to take a look at, how AI can be used in some other means, right? And while there are several areas that AI can assist with, I just kind of whittled it down a bit to 3 kind of main ones for us today, right? And so we're going to take a look really quickly at how it can be used towards websites for clubs and districts, how you can use it towards marketing and engagement, and then how you can use it to help you with your tasks and even with automation in certain sense. So when it comes to websites, a lot of clubs and a lot of members are a bit hesitant, right? A lot of clubs out there, not just within our zone, but globally, still do not have a club website, right? Or they may not have the greatest club website. And right now, AI can be used to build a website for you, whether it's from scratch or whether it's using something that you kind of already have. There are tools out there that we have a kind of common phrase on our public image teams, which is R&D. And within this context, R&D refers to rip off and duplicate, right? Not that I'm promoting that you go and rip off and duplicate somebody else's website, but theoretically, you can use it as kind of an example of what you want your website to be. And there are AI tools that will do that. You just tell it what website you kind of want to clone or you want yours to look like, and it can do it, and it'll build it from you literally in seconds, and then allow you to customize it. And that whole idea of, you know, just being able to create or modify aspects of a website with simple prompts makes it so much easier, because again, you don't have to learn website building. You don't have to learn how to use things like WordPress, or, you know, how to use the website builder module of DACDB and stuff like that. You can essentially just ask it to create this website for you. So there's no coding, there's no app learning aspect to it. And again, it's helping you leapfrog over some of these things to get the result that you really want to produce in a much shorter space of time. But emphasis also being placed again on the fact that you still have to personalize it. You still have to make it your own, right? As far as website optimization is concerned, there are a lot of clubs and districts out there with websites that are let's just say filled with information, right? They have page upon page upon page upon page, so much so that they've lost track of how many pages their website has. They've lost track of what content is where. And so there are AI tools out there now that will help you optimize your website. So whether it's to enhance the overall utility of your website, whether it's to identify issues on your website in terms of, you know, links that are missing, pages that are incorrect, it'll help you, it'll tell you what pages kind of you should keep and what ones maybe you should get rid of because it's duplicating information, or maybe it's outdated information, or maybe it's just really a link pointing to nowhere. And the overall idea here is not just so that you have a better website as a club or district, but also that you can improve the overall user experience, and you know, the persons coming to your website can find that information a little bit easier, can navigate it a little bit faster. So this whole idea of optimizing your website, especially ones that have a lot of information on it, or that, I hate to use the term, but let's say maybe a bit old and you're not sure where everything is, these AI tools can definitely benefit your club or district's website. So search engine optimization, or SEO, right, is something that is always going to be big when it comes to club websites, or even, you know, any instances that a club has of being online. And there are AI tools out there that deal specifically with SEO optimization, and it's all about just kind of helping your online presence to, you know, or the instance, or your online instance to just improve the overall exposure of it, make sure that more people find out about it, by making sure that it contains certain keywords, certain tags. You know, you want to generate just more traffic coming to your website, and this is where search engine optimization comes into play. A good way to kind of frame it is, a lot of us may go on Google and search for a particular club or district's website, and yeah, it's not that easy to find. You're lucky if it's one of the first 5 results that come up in Google, right? I know some clubs you have to actually click a few pages down in that list before you eventually find their website, if you find it at all. And that's really because it's not optimized for search engines, right? And so these AI tools that specifically deal with SEO optimization can really help boost a club's website or district's website, and just help the club or the district meet the expectations that are there for that website, right? You want people to come to it. You want more traffic heading towards it. Their marketing AI tools as well. And, you know, with these, it can help your club. You know, every club eventually and inevitably has to do a sales pitch, right? Or has to do some kind of campaign around a particular activity or project or an event. So, you know, marketing is always going to be a key element that clubs need to tap into. And marketing AI tools can help you with personalizing particular campaigns. It can accelerate that creation process in terms of actual content. And again, I mentioned this before, it can just reduce that bottleneck effect of kind of being stumped, right? What next? What else should I put out? how many versions of the same thing are going to eventually bore people, right? Maybe just help you come up with a better content strategy overall. Social media, right? A big thing when it comes to public image in Rotary. And one of the biggest factors that clubs and districts always face is, content, right? New content, repetitious content. There are AI social media management tools out there that honestly, if nothing else, they're great for repurposing content, right? You want to, let's say you have a video of your event that, somebody just shot and it's like 30, 40, 50 minutes long. You put it into some of these AI tools and they will create, little 30-second clips of it for you, edited and everything, right? To show highlights of that event. Whether it is that you have another, a whole lot of pictures and whatnot of a particular occasion, and you want to kind of create a collage of it, again, run it through some of these AI tools and it will create it for you. From a social media perspective as well, you can automate your postings so that, you're not always having to be the one that, whether it's every day or every other day or every week, has to remember to log on and post these things onto your different social media accounts. AI tools will help you do that automatically. And last but not least, it'll help you increase engagement. There's several tools out there. Again, you have to be a little bit conscientious of which ones you use and how you use them, but they will help with engagement on your different social media platforms. In other words, if somebody asks a question, you can have an AI bot answer that question for them, or at least respond quickly so they don't feel like they're being left out. And then last but not least, we have task management stuff, right? Within public image and within Rotary in general, we're always faced with, a lot of jobs and a lot of tasks being put to ourselves as chairpersons or as part of committees. So sometimes you want a little help with organizing those tasks, simplifying the processes involved, improving communication around. And there's several task management or project management AI tools out there that can help streamline these things for you, right? Help break it down into bite-sized chunks, advise you in terms of what are the best steps to start with versus, move on to in a second phase. And overall, just kind of gives you a better way to approach things and not necessarily make them look like this insurmountable mountain in front of you, right? So again, just a quick list of some AI tools, for optimization here. And again, all these examples that we're putting up here, we can spend an entire session on just one of these tools, but we didn't want to do that today. We wanted to kind of cover as broad a spectrum as possible because we know how wide and diverse the job of public images in Rotary and all the different things that have to be covered. So again, a short list of things here in terms of all the different topics under optimization we just went through. So I'm going to transition into our last kind of bonus section here, which is going to be our shortest section. And that's really, the whole idea behind free, right? Or as close as possible to free resources. There are a lot of AI tools out there that may be free to try, but you eventually have to pay, you have to subscribe to it. And I'll say this, a lot of them, they're worth that money that you may have to pay for it, right? But there are free tools out there that are just as good, and you should take advantage of them. It's just to always remember that, it's not necessarily the case 100% of the times that free is good. Sometimes free may be shortchanging you a bit, but it's a good way to kind of get the process started, get yourself familiar with things. And once you're comfortable with the free version of it or a free type of application, you can think about transitioning into something a bit more powerful or something a bit less restrictive in paid versions, right? Like I said, some things are worth paying for. You just need to weigh the cost a bit. And last but not least, when it comes to free versus paid, I'll just say this. It's always good to do your due diligence. Take a look, research, check on what's available, check on, do comparisons. what's in terms of the free version versus a paid version of something, or a free version versus an alternative paid version of it. There's so much stuff out there, and every day more is being added to the list. It's insane how many AI tools are coming out each day, each week, in all different genres. So again, these are if you click the resource button in your Zoom toolbar, these links are there. But I wanted to kind of leave you guys with kind of clearing houses for AI tools, right? So kind of these one-stop shops where you can sift through a lot of different AI resources and tools. They're categorized so you can kind of decide, hey, I'm looking for something that's covering search engine optimization. It'll give you a list that just deals with search engine optimization, right? Hugging Face is a great resource. It's one of these sites that just kind of, there's a lot of user contributions to it. So you have custom built AIs, things that you wouldn't find anywhere else. So again, the idea here is take your time, take a look at it, explore and see what works well for you. Last but not least, we added a very comprehensive list of AI resources in the PI toolbox of the Elevate Rotary website. It's also available for direct download in the resources button as well. So if you really want an extensive list of stuff, feel free to download that Excel file. It contains hundreds of links to various AI resources, and I tried my best and kind of broke them up into different categories with little explanations of what each does. All right, so at this point, I just want us to take a couple minutes. We have a quick survey that we want you guys to do based on everything we covered tonight. And I'm just going to launch it here right now. So it should be coming up on your screen. While we're just asking everybody who's here tonight to go ahead and just fill out that survey for us. And while you're doing that, I'll just reemphasize a couple of the key points that we brought up tonight with regards to AI. The first is that, again, take your time, explore what's out there, see what's out there. The second is, always double check the sources and make sure that what it's spitting back out to you, if you're not confident in it, double check sources, make sure that it's correct. As we've seen before, whether it's text-based or whether it's visual-based, AI is not always going to be accurate. It's not always going to spit out the correct thing at you. It can make mistakes. So, it's not necessarily something that you should place 100% of confidence in. It's a tool. It's to help you do the job, not necessarily do the job for you, all the way. And then last but not least, something to also emphasize is, that whole aspect of due diligence, right? Take some time, research things, just like any other application or any other software or even hardware that's out there, there's choice, right? And finding what fits you best is something that will work out for you in the long run. So, while there may be a few resources that we highlighted specifically tonight, by no means are we saying that those are the only resources that you should use. There are many others out there, sometimes too many. It's just a matter of you finding the one that works best for you. Sometimes it's working best with the budget that you have or working best with the situation in which you find yourself. So with that, I'm going to leave the poll open for a little bit and we're going to close things off. And I'm going to hand over to Susan Corder, who's going to just give you guys a quick few reminders before we go to breakout rooms. Susan?
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Excellent presentation. I know it's a lot of information that we covered, so give us your feedback on that poll and let us know if you're interested in having a follow-up session, sort of an AMA session, Ask Me Anything session. One really important event I want to announce is the boot camp coming up next month. This is a really crucial event to club and district public image chairs. You can register now at Elevate Rotary zones3334.org. I'm going to cover a lot of information on this webinar as well, but really prep you for a successful Rotary year starting July 1. So please sign up and attend that if you're able. And just a couple of reminders of the tools that we have available. I'm going to go through these really quickly so we have a little bit of time in the breakout rooms to answer a question on tonight's segment. But the brand design review, if you're doing any sort of print materials, send us your design first before you spend any money, and we're happy to review it to make sure it's brand compliant and offer suggestions. Check out our website for blogs, webinar recordings, and we're constantly launching new design templates that you can use for social media posts and other content in your newsletters. The Canva Cook for Clubs, you might have seen this link dropped in the chat. If you are a nonprofit, if you have a nonprofit status for your club, you can qualify for a free Canva Pro account. But if you don't have a nonprofit status for your club, we have recently launched the Canva for Clubs, where we have several seats available on our zone account. So you can scan the QR code there or visit Elevate Rotary and send us your application for that. The People of Action competition is launched and live, and the deadline for submissions on that is April 30th. So if you are interested in participating, scan the QR code. And again, everything is on our website, elevaterotaryzones3334.org. And I think my last reminder is the EPIC Award. All tasks are due on April 30th. So again, go to the EPIC Award page on our website. You can find that in the drop-down menu under recognition or awards, and check out the task and submit them all online before April 30th. So we can recognize you for all of your amazing efforts centered around public image. And it really helps you perform consistent tasks with regards to public image and sharing your Rotary story. So now I'm going to, just a reminder also to give us your public image chair incoming, and that's actually part of the April task. Now I'm going to let you guys go into the breakout rooms. We have a few minutes left to answer questions that you had on tonight's webinar. You're going to be joining breakout room 3 with Sean. If you have questions on just general public image questions, you can join Marie and Dawn in breakout room 1. And if you have questions on the EPIC Award, since we didn't cover a lot of that tonight, I can see you in breakout room number 2. So just click the breakout room icon at the bottom of your screen to join a breakout room, and we will see you there.